Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System 22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Oh, we got a fun one for you today. As you can see, we got a little gallery here. They're all black and white images. When I hover over one, it's going to grow. It's just going to pop out in front of the other images there. And of course, like any other gallery, if you click on it, it's going to open into a light box there. Really nice little eye-catching feature to have on your site. Really easy to do too. So in this video today, I'm going to show you how to set up this gallery. I'm going to show you how to make the images all sit next to each other like this, and how to create this fantastic hover effect here. So let's get started. I'm going to enable the Visual Builder. Once enabled, let's roll down to our gallery. I've got a section here, the blue tab. Inside that section, I've got a row with a single column, the green tab, and then the gallery module. Let's get rid of this row. We'll start from scratch. So I'm going to add a new row to our little section here, little green button for a row. I'm going to have a single column in mind. And inside there, I'm going to use a gallery module, funnily enough. It'll throw in a few random images until you decide what images you want to put on yours. So to select your images, hit the little plus sign here. And I'm going to throw in, I guess, a dozen or so images. I'm selecting the first one, holding my shift key down and selecting the last one. It'll grab them all in between there. Hit the select button and it'll pop them in for us. Now, if you want to reorder these, you can just left click on one of them, drag it to where you want to put it and release your left mouse and it'll reorder them. Now, there's some crazy numbers and letters underneath all of these. That's actually the title of the images themselves. And these are all generated by AI over there at Night Cafe. If you want to generate some great AI images, that link's down below for Night Cafe. But I don't want to see any of that. And you may notice we've only got 4 images up there. I wanted to show all 12 of our images. So if we roll down a little bit more, we've got image count right here. You've got image order. It defaults the way that you put them in there. You can display them randomly if you want to, but I'm happy for it to be the way I put them in there. Great. Well, that's got all of our 12 images in there now, but I want to get rid of those crazy titles right there. To do that, you do that in Elements down below. Show title and caption. Fantastic. Now you've got the option to show pagination. I'm displaying 12 images at the moment. Had I put 30 images in there, it would still only display 12, but you'd have pagination down the bottom, taking you to the next set of images there. I'm going to turn that off because we don't need that. Fantastic. I'm not going to link this to anywhere because by default, when you click on one of these, it's going to pop it out into a light box, which is great. And as you can see, as I hover over these, they've actually got an overlay and an icon. For me, I'm going to take those away today and make them transparent. Okay, well, let's just roll this down so you can see the whole thing. I'm going to go over to my design. Here's the overlay I was talking about just there. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to make both the icon color and the overlay background color transparent. So now when you hover, you don't see it. Now, if you do want to keep one or the other or both of them, of course you can. And you can select whatever icon you want to appear in the middle, just down below here. Great. Well, at the moment, that's pretty much all I'm going to do. We're going to turn it grayscale in a minute and create the hover effect. But I actually want these touching each other. Now, that's entirely up to you, obviously. But if you do, I'll show you exactly how to do that. Save our changes in the gallery. I'm going to go up to my row, the green tab right here. Over to design, sizing the top one there. I'm going to use a custom gutter width. Now the gutter is the space between these images. So I'm going to flip that to on. I'm going to take it all the way left. So it's 1. As you can see, these are touching each other now. Perfect. Great. Let's create a little black and white effect. I'm going to go back into the actual gallery module itself. Now, you could use filters for this, but it'll do the whole thing. It'll do every image. So, because I want to create that effect that it's black and white, and when we hover over each image, it goes color. I don't want it to affect the other images. So we're not going to use filters for this over in design. Filters, by the way, is down there. I'm going to go over to my advanced, to my custom CSS right here. I'm going to go to the module elements tab on the right hand side at the top. I'm going to roll down. Here's a gallery item. So I'm going to write a little bit of code here. I'm going to say filter, colon. I want to use what they call a grayscale. I'm going to open and close some round brackets at the end there. I'm going to put in 100%. As you can see, that's turned those all black and white, if you will. Perfect. But of course, when they hover over it, I want that to come back to being color. Just for a bit of attention grabbing. So let's put a little colon there in case, semicolon there in case we want to add another line. I'm going to copy this, Control C to copy. Now, common to all Divi modules, if you roll over the dark writing within a module, you'll see some little icons appear. If there's a little arrow, we can create a hover state. If you click on the little arrow, it brings up two little tabs. Desktop's when the mouse is not on it. Obviously, hover is when the mouse is on it. So let's click on the hover tab. I'm going to paste that grayscale in there. At 100%, I'm going to select the 100%. Make sure you don't cut off the round brackets there. I'm simply going to put a 0 in there. Great. So when we're hovering now, or when we're not hovering, I should say, it's going to be black and white. When we hover, it's going to turn a color. Now, it's going to pretty much do that instantly because we're using CSS to do this today. So I want to slow it down for a bit of grace so that color fades in a little bit. So in the desktop, make sure you're on the desktop. I'm going to add another line of code. I'm going to say transition dash duration colon. I'm going to make mine maybe 3/4 of a second, half a second, whatever works for you. I find if you slow it down a bit, it's just a little bit more graceful. So 0.75s would be 3/4 of a second. So now that effect's going to take 3/4 of a second to sort of fade in. You can see it happening as we do that. I know it's doing all of them at the moment, but this will actually do them individually, and I'll demonstrate that in a moment. Great. Well, that's that part of it, but also when they hover over it, I want it to grow, get bigger. So again, we need to go over to the hover state. I'm going to scale it up just a little bit. So I'm going to say transform, colon, scale, S-C-A-L-E, with some round brackets at the end. I'm going to perhaps make it 50% bigger, which would be 1.5. 1 is 100% of the size. 1.5 would be 150%. That's great. So it's going to scale up. And then when we take our mouse off, it's going to go back down again. Great, so we've got our timing there. We want to make sure when we hover over these and they grow, that the one that we're hovering over is going to appear in front of all the other ones up there. To do that, let's go to our hover state. I'm going to use a bit what they call z-index. Put a semicolon on the end of our last entry. If you don't, it will not read the next line of code. So I'm going to drop down. I'm going to say z-index. I'm going to give it a real high number, perhaps 999. That's a high number, but it should get the job done. Now, what z-index is, if this image has a z-index of 10 and the one next door has a z-index of 11 or higher and they grow, the one with the higher number will always appear in front of the one with the lower number. So if we've done everything correctly here, we should be good to go. Let's save our changes. We'll save the page changes. Now let's exit the Visual Builder. Roll on down. There's our little black and white gallery. When we hover over one of these images, it's going to grow. It's going to pop out on top of our other ones there. And it's going to become colored. Fantastic. Just what the doctor ordered. And of course, if you click on one of these, it's going to open in a light box. And that's a really nice eye-catching gallery. The black and white color image hover effect you see quite often on sites. And this just takes your little gallery module to the next level there. Really easy to do. Now I'll put that CSS code down below the video for anybody that wants to use it. You're welcome to copy and paste it. But I would suggest that you actually write your own. CSS is a wonderful thing to learn. It's not difficult, and it can take your editing skills way up to the next level. And if you've enjoyed a bit of CSS, have a look at our CSS playlist. You'll find it popping up in a moment on the left-hand side of this video. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.